Hello there. Welcome to Thursdays with Mom, episode 3. We've had a special request to talk about how Christmas was at the Gucher house, and this was in the 30s. So, Mom, tell me about your Christmas tree.
Okay, I had my older brothers. They would go out into the woods each Christmas, and they would cut down a little pine tree about 4 or 5 feet tall and bring it in. And then we girls and Mother would help us, and we would sit down. Uncle Max wasn't old enough, but we girls always made the decorations. And Mother would pop popcorn, and we would string the popcorn and make strings of popcorn to put around the tree. And then we had some little art paper left over from school, and Mother showed us how to cut that up and make little rings, and she cooked and made us some glue out of flour and water.
Made glue out of flour and water, things she had in the kitchen.
Yes. She made us we always put those together. We made us little rings of those, made a chain out of those little rings of colored paper and put those around the tree. We did not have any decorations other than possibly Mother had some little folding paper bells, and she put those in the windows for Christmas. But that's about the Christmas decorations we had. I don't remember what we topped the tree with. I really don't.
Yeah.
Because I was very young.
And you and your sisters did the decorating,
We did.
not the boys.
Right. I don't recall Uncle Dutson getting in on it or not, but he was just older than Aunt Betty. But mostly it was us, we girls and Mother, that decorated the tree.
What kind of gifts did you get?
I can't recall what the boys received, unless it was a harmonica or a knife, a little army knife of some kind. I don't remember what they received, but I remember the girls, Betty and I and Eloise, we received a doll. And that was about it, besides the fruit bags and candy. Daddy would always bring home a crate of apples, crate of oranges and tangerines, and also bring in bags of nuts. And Mother would pull out these little brown bags, and she would put one apple, one orange, and one tangerine in with some nuts and some candy. And we always had a candy cane, and then we had some little chocolate candies that she put in there that were cream filled. And that was what we got for Christmas. And I remember Daddy had a friend who made us some little furniture one time for Aunt Betty and Aunt Lois and I. And
Well, that was a surprise, I'm sure.
it really
Very
was
special.
a little kitchen outfit that we could play with. And Aunt Betty received a little packet, little dishes, a little set of dishes, and to share with myself and Aunt Lois. And we really enjoyed our Christmas because it was just us. We didn't have much, but what we had, we were thrilled and happy for.
Didn't you say your mom would make some type of taffy candy
She
at
did.
Christmas too?
She really did. She made taffy out of syrup, and I don't recall exactly how. She would boil it and cook it on the old wooden stove, and then when it cooled enough, she would let each one of us have some, and we would pull it. And that's what we call pulled taffy. But then after we pulled what she gave us, we could eat. And it was a lot of fun pulling that and getting it all over our fingers. Of course, Mother always buttered our fingers first, but that helped. But that was good candy.
And you had white Christmases too.
We did. We
In
had
Alabama.
we had big snows back then, a lot larger than what we have even up here. I remember last Christmas here,
And here is Knoxville right now. But in Bessemer, Alabama, McCalla,
Yeah, McCalla.
in the 30s.
See, that was before so many manufacturing businesses were built. That was before World War II. So there weren't a lot of manufacturing businesses that created problems for the atmosphere. But anyway, we had good Christmases and good snows, and Mother would go out with a pot, and if she couldn't go, she'd send one of us or one of the boys, and they would go out and skim up some clean snow and bring it in, and Mother would add milk and vanilla flavoring and sugar to it, and we had some snow ice cream.
Did you sled on the snow? Did you have a
No.
sled?
I don't recall us slide. No, we didn't have sleds. We didn't. We might have got out and played with snowballs and had a little snowball fight from time
Make a
to time.
snowman, maybe?
I don't remember making the snowman, but I remember having snowball fights. We had fun.
I bet you did.
We didn't have a lot, but we were okay. We were fine. We were happy to be together.
Mom, tell me about my granddaddy, which I never knew, your dad.
Well, he was a handsome man, as you can see in his picture here. And but as he worked in the ore mines all those years, his health began to fail a good bit. But before he got sick with the black lung, he and Mother would always go to singings once a month at the Bessemer Courthouse in Bessemer, Alabama.
These were gospel singing.
Gospel singings. They were a singing every I believe it was every fourth Sunday, or it could have been every quarter, but it seemed like to me it was every fourth Sunday that they had the big singings, gospel singings. It's mostly, we didn't have all the gospel quartets back then that we have today. But back then, different ones could get up and sing, and Mother would play the piano and sing with Daddy. And they had beautiful voices that really blended beautifully together. And you almost feel like you're in heaven listening to them sing. But that was some good times that we were able to go to and enjoy that.
Didn't you say your dad had a tenor, a nice tenor voice?
Yes, Daddy had a beautiful voice. It was between a soprano and a tenor, I would say. It was gorgeous.
And your mom?
And Mother she sang alto and played the piano. And they
Elaine sings alto also.
And they sang duets together at the singings. I remember that. And even at home in the evenings before we had a radio, that Mother and Daddy would sing together. And Mother played the old upright piano. We had a big old upright piano. That was Mother's pride and joy, that old piano.
So you had singings at home, all of you?
No, that was just Mother and Daddy. We might gather around the piano sometimes, but it's mostly the younger ones. The boys were bigger, and that I recall, and they're older than me. So, all except Max, of course, and I don't know. Max doesn't remember too much about it. He was so small. But they did sing together at home, and it was so pretty. So I guess that's where we learned gospel music, is listening to Mother and Dad.
And your dad, he worked long hours at the mine?
He did. He certainly did, and took a toll on him, and that's how he got sick. And all of us had, the county health nurse came out, I won't ever forget that, and we all had to have a TB test, tuberculosis test, to see if we had gotten the germ from Daddy. And the only one of all 8 of us was Uncle Don, and he tested positive, and then when they went back and checked him again, he was okay. But it scared us when they found a positive test on Uncle Don. But all the rest of us were in the clear, and he was okay. But Uncle Don, I don't know if you recall, his shoulders were bent over.
I do remember that.
Where he had infantile paralysis when he was a teenager.
And that's your oldest brother?
Third oldest.
Third, okay.
Uncle Don.
George was the oldest.
And then Uncle Doug.
And then Don.
Then Uncle Don.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he worked for the state of Alabama in the transportation department. He was out on the roads working for the highway department.
That was Uncle Don?
Yeah.
Okay. So what else do you remember about your dad?
Well, Daddy always wore overalls, bless his heart, but they were always clean. Mother scrubbed. I mean, she washed clothes like you wouldn't believe all the time with Octagon and Lysol.
Did she wash them in the sink?
No, we didn't have a sink down there. We had a big old galvanized tub, that the same one that we'd wash our feet in at night before we go to bed. And it's a big old tub that she washed our clothes in back then on an old rub board.
And you didn't have a lot of sets of clothes, did you?
Nope.
Each one of you.
No, we had to take care of what we had. We didn't get them very often, and what we got, Mother made them. We didn't get store-bought clothes back then.
How many dresses do you remember having?
Oh goodness, we had one Sunday dress.
Of course.
But for school, we had like skirts and blouses. Yeah.
Skirts and blouses and one Sunday dress.
Right.
What about your shoes?
We might get one pair of shoes just before school started in September.
What'd they look like?
Brown like Oxfords. Oh,
Nothing
yeah.
fancy, huh?
But they were good, durable type shoes. We had to take care of them, same way with the ones that we got on Easter, to get a fresh start on in Easter in the spring of the year. So, is there anything else you remember? Let's see, Daddy, I remember that he told me how much he loved me and that I was the middle girl and that I was his favorite, he said. Now, see, that's from a child. I just remember that as a child. But he may not have said that. But I'm sure I remember him hugging me many a time when he came home from work. And after he cleaned up, he always hugged us girls. But Betty was getting a little larger by then. I think she was about, let's see, I was about 4, 6, 8. I was about 8 or 9 years old. That's what I remember the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Mom's got some great memories. Thank you for sending in your questions. I encourage you to send us more questions. Anything that we're not covering, ask us, and we will answer each topic as the question comes. Right, Mom?
Do the best we can with this memory.
Well, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you, and bye.
Bye.